But let's start with our word of the day. The word of the day today is positives. Yesterday, as we were talking about the plight of the Sixers a lot, the show took a negative turn because things right now with the Sixers are mostly negative. And I don't want to be negative on a nice weather Friday going into the weekend. I'm still kind of on a high from the Eagles Super Bowl, to be honest. I haven't fully hit the ground yet. So let's talk about some positives right now in Philadelphia sports. And I want to know from the people today, do these positives in Philadelphia sports move you? I'll start with even the Sixers. We do have to remember that as bad as it is right now, it's been way worse in this particular way. Tyrese Maxey's 24 years old. He's fifth in the NBA in scoring. He's 24 years old. He's fifth in the NBA in scoring. I've talked about it. I think Tyrese Maxey is a Robin. But either you get the Embiid miracle, because probably what it would take at this point going forward, or you get a different Batman. You already have your Robin. And I got to be honest, many times in my life as a Sixers fan, they were without a Batman or a Robin. Like, how about that time in between Barkley trade and before AI figured it out? You had neither. Thought it would be Stackhouse. He was neither Batman nor Robin. So the fact that you have a guy at 24 who's a top 5 scorer already, that's a big positive. The question I have for people out there is, do you care? Does it move you? We have the Phillies coming up. And this is a tough thing, I will admit, with the Phillies. On the one hand, they're an automatic playoff team, a short of cataclysmic injury situation. Because they have depth in pitching. They have actually a pretty deep lineup, at least for the regular season. They got a lot of guys that can hit. We focus on like Rojas and Marsh. They got a bunch of guys. 1 through 7 can hit. Most lineups don't have 1 through 7. So while we focus on the Marshes and the Rojases and wonder, can we get it done with those guys? In the grand scheme of things, they're damn good. The problem is, due to their own playoff failures on the other side, the bar is very high. But with the Sixers this year, the bar is very high, and there's no hope of them reaching it. Yes, the bar is very high for the Phillies, but they're excellent. They have Bryce Harper. They have Schwarber. They have Trey Turner. They have Castellanos. They have JT. They have Bone. Bone was an all-star last year. And now if any of these other guys pop, JT bounces back, or if Rojas, who hit a home run in spring training yesterday and was MVP of the Dominican League, if he takes a step forward, or if Marsh takes a step forward, or if Stott takes a step forward, look how good you are. The question is, do you care about those positives? Because I do. There are positives right now. But I'm not dismissing your frustration with the Phillies, by the way. I'm just saying we won't know about October till October. I'm going to enjoy March and April, like I always say. I don't skip. That's positive. And with the Flyers right now, there's positive. I'm talking about non-Eagles. Obviously, the Eagles are just positive. With the Flyers right now, there's a clean slate. Trade deadline's coming up. You got a new brain trust. Fletcher botched his trade deadlines every time. That's part of the reason why he's not here anymore. You can have a clean slate. A clean slate if you're a Flyers fan right now. The question is, do you care? Now, they're going to probably make themselves worse soon. You have to be able to accept that. And I know sometimes some Flyers fans fight against that. But that would be a good thing because that will accelerate the rebuild because they will get more assets. I think Ristolainen is basically a lock to be moved, and we'll see who else. Hopefully they move everybody they're supposed to. So
looks like Lawton, too.
Look like Lawton is out as well?
Yeah.
And what about Coots?
He's got Lawton. I think Coots, they want him to be there as a coach almost.
We'll see how all that plays out. But Ricky Bo, looking at the positive, non-Eagles positives, do you take solace in any of those?
Yeah, I do. I think the Phillies. You know what? I love Maxey. Everybody loves Maxey. He makes you feel good. You look at him, he's smiling, he's having a good time, and it brings you back to your childhood when you're playing basketball. That's what he does for me. When I watch him play basketball, I realize that he's out there getting paid a lot of money, but look at the fun he's having. He's having a good time. Obviously, it hasn't been as fun lately. You don't get those big smiles from him, but it's in there somewhere with him. Yeah, you could. Here's the thing about when you try to find something that makes you happy, that makes you positive. It's all about your focus. You brought up the word focus, and it's an instrumental part of this because it depends on what your focus is on. And you brought up with the Phillies. Is your focus really on Johan Rojas? Not really.
Shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. Your focus should be on Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, and Kyle Schwarber. And how are those guys going to be?
The 77 starting pitchers.
And then you want to go to even a better place. You know, you look online. We do it all the time when we're in work. We're looking on Twitter and we're reading Matt Gelb, who comes on. We're reading Scott Lauber, and what we're seeing, Corey Seidman. What we're seeing is 96, 97 miles an hour for Luzardo today. That makes you feel pretty happy. It makes you feel like that's a big positive. You got to understand, this is game one for these guys of spring training, and they're throwing high 90s. Mm-hmm. They have come in ready to play baseball. So I think the Phillies as a whole really should kind of make you feel pretty good about yourself. And because they're going to be good, you know you have 81 games down here in South Philly that you can go to. And then weather's going to be getting nicer as time goes on. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing about baseball. Why people love the beginning of baseball is I believe because they know the weather's changing, and then it's summertime, then it's Jersey Shore time and this and that. But there's a lot of positives that could come from a lot of things. I mean, Matvei Michkov is as far as you have to look for the Flyers. Travis Konecny's putting together a nice little season for himself.
He's on pace for career high points.
This is what I'm talking about. There are some things out there that you could kind of grasp onto. There are days where you don't want to, and that is when it becomes a problem. I mean, come on, face it. Do we really want to look at the reality that the Phillies got wiped out by the Mets last year? No. So how do you end that? Well, that's why spring training is here. That's why you could kind of put your eyes on spring training and just start judging the team from a standpoint of they are good. Just how good are they?
Yeah, 610-632-0975. Word of the day, positives. Do we want to focus on the negatives or the neutral? Do we want to focus on the positives? I want to know where your mindset is. We laid out what we think. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Really appreciate it. If you want more of this content, make sure you like and subscribe. And you can do that kind of over here if you want more of the best show ever.